Okay. Okay, Takasya, I'll run through the presentation again, but I won't take much time as in the morning part because I think we already run out of time. So for the sort of your customization, what I talk about in the morning is the content is as follows: journal migration and overview of it. Journal is being implemented from China and then it goes from China to Alabama ICT. And then I'll elaborate on what is journal, little bit detail on it, and then we'll dive into each component that made up a journal management application. And then in order to customize the journal, we need to understand the Java architecture. So, and then we look at the basic journal configuration and how we change the URL, and then second to the last web customization, and a little bit on the server-side administration. So if you install journal from the scratch, you will have a default web page like this. Much similar to this. And then if you customize it, for example, Sol-FIMS, you can customize it according to your case. Then for this case, Sol-FIMS, we end up with this this project web page. So let's go back to the journal migration. The system is installed by China experts, and when they install the system, it's virtualized on the laptop. And then when they give us opportunity to work on this, we do migration on the system and the application itself. So we move it to VMware server here in ICT. So now the application is running on a dedicated hardware, so it is accessible 24/7. So there is no like for power like that, for availability any of major problems. So while discussing the journal, it's important that we know a little bit about details of the journal. So it's a platform for management and publication of geospatial data. And not any other data, but it's really reference to geospatial data. So it brings together the major open source software project and the easy to use interface. So all those components I'll discuss it later that brings a journal. But what it brings here is you actually manage two types of data that goes into journal. So in your daily work activities, you produce maps or any other files that you want to share it to journal. So one of the type of data type you publish on the journal is raster data. So people with the GIS knowledge, you know what is raster data. Those are the image files, and the vector data are the ones who made with polygons and lines and points. So the good thing about this information management is you actually upload the data and you store it on the database. And you also give data about the data, the metadata of the particular data you upload. You also record it on the system. So when someone is working on your data, he or she knows about how data is created. So let's dive into the system components. So GeoNode itself is made up of different open source applications. So the first one is GeoX and OpenAI. That's the first component. And that's the component you access it on the web. And for Django and GeoServer, that's the service layer of the application. So GeoServer also has a web front-end, but in this case we will not explore that. And Django is the framework that the journal is built on. And for the database, the actual database managing the overall data is PostGIS and PostgreSQL. For the ones I highlighted with the journal, the red rectangle there, or square, those are not configured for more journal system. So looking at the system component, first we look at the data part of the system. So when you look at the start, PostGIS is responsible to manage the data and configure information regarding all the data goes into the system. So after this presentation, we will use PGI for a party application to actually log into the live system, and you will have a look at it, how it's structured in a journal application. The second component is called GeoServer. And GeoServer is a Java-based server with OGC. OGC is just an industry standard that they are responsible to develop a lot of open source and protocols to serve GIS-related data. So GeoServer and GeoNode to connect to one. So when you post data in GeoServer, that data will be also fetched into GeoNode and vice versa. If you post data in GeoNode, that data will also inside GeoServer. But keep in mind that there are other formats that you cannot upload directly in GeoNode. So in this case, you have to go to GeoServer and upload it there. Yeah? Because as long as you upload it there, GeoNode will pick it from GeoServer. So bear in mind on that the format supported for upload in GeoServer is much more like it's a lot compared to GeoNode. So as I said, GeoServer also has a web front-end, but in this case, since we treat our journal as a front-end, we will not explore the web front-end for journal. The third component is Django. And you can see there, I sense the Django on Google, and it comes out with a nice picture of, I think, a guitarist from Italy. So I think the application is named after that person. So if you start play music, Django is derived from musical. So Django itself is a high-level Python web framework. So you can also design a website on it. Since it allows or third party to plug into the system, you can plug a lot of application into this framework and keep it run as a simple application. So Django allows users to click the content and look and feel to extend Django to customers through portal. And we will also access the admin panel for this journal. And fourth one is GeoX and OpenLayer. This is the GeoExplorer. This is not installed directly with the, it's not installed by default while you install journal. So if you install journal and if you want the client web front end to have more functionality similar to desktop, then you have to include this client side of GeoExplorer into your application, so that the web itself has some kind of function similar to desktop application. So for mock journal, we have included the GeoExplorer so that you can measure, you can actually query the data, or you can even print the map from web front end of the application. So it actually communicates with other components using HTTPS. That's the protocol content. Now, to actually customize the journal, we need to understand Django. And Django is the actual web framework that journal is built on. Now, this simple workflow is actually explain all the things related to the Django architecture. So, for example, if you want to access Sol-FIMS so when user requests the home page or that request will go to Django and Django say, wait, I'll have to look at your request. And you check the URL. And this file is there, the URL stop file. URL stop file contains all the pages within the application. And then URL file will check the view stop file. You check the view, and then you say, okay, the home page is in template. So you fetch the data from the template and return it, and Django will give to user. So you will have the home page for the application. If you search for specific data, that data will go to Django, and Django will follow the same step request. You go to URL, and then to the view, and then the view say, wait, since this request is a data count for data, I have to check for the model. So the model will speak with the database, and then the reply will give back to Django, and Django give you a nice looking up on the front end. So this is a simple workflow. So understanding this simple workflow also gives us that the actual file we can edit on the system as well. That's why I put up this little bit diagram. So that the actual file we put it here. That's the actual file you go to the system when you edit it. And this training will not contain how to edit it. But understanding this, you will go to actual directory where the files stay in the system or located. So this is the actual root directory for the journal. So we have journal, and then we have a second node, journal. But there is a meaning for those. Like the first journal, that's a journal for a project. And within that project, we have second journal, which is the actual app. So the actual app, within that actual app here, contains all the files that you need to edit. Therefore, understanding this structure will also help you put files in a relevant place, as well as where to go and edit existing files. So if you're on the Windows, click and open, like the screenshot there. But if you're on a Linux system, you need a command line to navigate around the project folders. So since we need to install two apps here, the first one is the default one with the installation, which is Journal app. And then the second one, Geo Explorer app, which is the one which is added recently. The first thing you have to do is to edit the setting file. And then go to the line where called install apps, and you add those two apps to the system. And when you add it here, Django knows that I have to take care of this app while I'm loading up all files in the project directory. So for this case, we add Geo Explorer and Django to the install app. So Django knows this profile automatically when you does that. And then you have to check. You check the setting of the, still on the setting file, you check for the static root file, where it points to the root directory. The reason for that is when Django is in the root directory, Django needs to know that static root folder is within there. And the same thing, if you create any other static folders apart from this, you have to do the same thing. You have to inform Django that I have this following folder within the project. So in this case, for static root, we have to inform Django that this folder is in the project root journal app. And then after that, you have to also check the static URL. Now, the reason for static URL for the web server to save the static root folder. And the reason why we need to create a static root folder, because in the journal, it has a lot of static files. And to copy all the static files manually is really take time. So what you do, create a root folder, and then using Python manage.py, collect stuff command, it will actually collect all the folder within the system, name it static, and then put it inside static root folder. Yeah. And the only static root folder, you save it to the web server. And that's how you configure it. Because Journal is a complex system, so you have a lot of static folders inside. And you cannot, when you have a lot of static folder, you cannot save from different locations. So collect all static folder into one root static folder, and then save one. And that's the best practice for saving out the static folders in an enterprise deployment. And how does Journal knows how to find static? Journals use static file finders and static file systems and app directories. Those are classes that actually go into the system and find those files for you. And same thing you have to do for template. Just ensure you add your template to the root directory. This is important because Django needs to aware of those folders in order to save it for you on the web. Now, after you do that, we have to save the static folder to web server. And the web server we use here is Nginx. Nginx is just a minimal strict version of Apache web server. It doesn't have a lot of function like Apache, but it does save files on the internet, so we use it. And this is how we configure it. You have to tell the web server that your need to save the static root folder on the web server. And then also on the web server, you have to configure the journal.ini file. And that's the script for now, before migration during the chapter, application is running on internet and is accessible only using IP address. Now, we are using Sol-FIMS to bind with the IP address because we human beings are not good at memorizing the numbers. So we implement another numbering culture like naming system deals with it. But it's easier for us to understand and remember. So we take Sol-FIMS and bind it to the IP address, and then we save it to. So now you can click on Sol-FIMS, type it on internet or the IP address if you know it, or it will give you the same access. You will access the same application. So the binding is actually done by DNS servers. So there are servers running on the server that does the job. Okay, for the theming of the Sol-FIMS, as I said today, you can change the local field of your journal project. And the journal style is based on Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a UI framework that people around the world use it to build a very nice looking website. So if you're interested in doing the same job, you can download the Bootstrap and implement it on your own project. But for this case, I just write it here that the steps to do the change of default logo if you want to add a default logo to your system. So when you install a journal, there is no logo. The default logo there is a journal default. But if you want to customize journal, you will use your own logo. You will do your branding. So this is the steps you can carry out to change. I'll just show an example how to change the default logo. So to change to journal static root directory and so you have to do this. On a Linux system, do this. Change directory to this folder. For Windows, it just means that you go into this old window, then there is another file inside, open it, and there is another file inside, open it, and then close until you reach the image file. So on a Linux system, we just use file path. So just drop your logo into the image folder, and then you change the directory to CSS, and you add this rule. Now this rule will override the default configuration in the site interface, the CSS. And after you refresh, you will see whatever logo you put in this folder. This one should not be, should be spelled as ING for the image. So once again, just go to your static root directory, find the image on the image folder, put your logo inside, and then change directly to CSS, and then add all your CSS property on that file, and it will override the default configuration. So adding many CSS rules to this particular file, you can customize the entire web page according to your need. just by adding small lines like this. So for this case, this is where it gives you the logo. The nice looking background, this is the picture. So we just give the part for the image is stored and then it actually displays. So now let's check either this file we are editing is actually coming through the web, the browser. So when you do inspecting on the Google Chrome, you will see the base file, which actually saved. It's on the, you actually edit it on the web server, the server side. But then when you do inspection on the Chrome, you can see that the same file you edited is also giving all the properties of CSS. So whatever rule you are creating in the CSS file, it will actually appear here on the front end. So when you edit all those files already, next thing is to update the content. And this is the actual what comes to the client on front. So in our journal project or any other journal project, you will have two files. One is base.html and site.index. So in our case, you can rename it to index file. So when you change those files as it's shown there, you will see that it appears on the front end of the website, or in this case, journal front end, or Sol-FIMS front end homepage. So this is how the customization is done. Much of the things I discussed here is too technical, but it's good that you understand how we did implementing up to now. And then the last part of the system is server administration. For this section, I don't expect you to understand a lot of things here because this is looking on IT. But with the minimal skills on this, you can be able to diagnose the problem or when application is not really working well. So before you go IT team, at least you know where the problem is. With very few commands that will tell you where to go and look. So we'll also introduce a new system monitoring protocol class that you will just enter on the server and it gives you all the information about the system before calling ICTP. And then you will look at the logs of the system. Because when things go wrong, the system will log in. So when you look at the log, you know the status of the system. And I think the end of the presentation for the Sol-FIMS customization. Thank you. Since we don't have much time, I think we have to move on to the second part of our training today. So this, you should have one print of tutorial, journal administration tutorial. This is the, yeah. So get the
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me? I can hear, I cannot hear you.
Yes, yes, I can see.
Oh, okay, okay, fine, now it's okay.
Okay, everyone.
Okay, there's a password page sheet there. Pick up a username, and the password is listed first on the username. So now I want you to log into since I'm using a turbo. So first I have, for you, it's not problem, but for me, I have to get a VPN access to the ICT network. Because I'm also outside, although I'm inside here. So everyone just type the URL. Everyone accessing the home page? Yeah? Okay. So there's a button on the right corner there, here. I can't see because of this list here. Can I move this one? Yes. So click sign. Oh, you said it, is it? Okay. Yes. Oh, there was the type of particular so straight to the
Social. Social-FIMS. Social-FIMS.mov.r.com. Cercano quel che si. Giornale di uno. Social. sign in, there is a password, the password seal. Bikin mo anyone o taman absent. Then use the password. So no.
So we will wait for others to do the same procedure. Everyone wants to sign?
Yes.
Are you signing as a video song? Yes. Very good video song. Set. Good. So, for me, I'll sign as an administrator. So on the right side here, you will see a drop down here. And your user name, then I want you to go to admin. Now, all the passwords I'm giving you all a super user password. So please be minded, don't click too much law system. Because now you start the wrong name. Yes. That's the admin page for the journal. And that's the Django file. If you look at point number 3, yes, good. Okay. No, just use another idea. So everyone ready? So if you look at point number 3, this case 3, it say accessing the admin panel. Accessing the admin panel. That's how you access the admin panel. You log into the system on the top down notification there, then you are admin. And with this interface, you can control what put on the system. Like you can add user, delete user. Yes. So I will only insert it. So go to your username, the login username, yeah, and then admin. Yeah. Yes. So now, let's say our system admin is gone. So we need to take the role. So we need to reset the password for admin. So on the right side here, there is a hyperlink here, change password. Click on it. Now time to old password, the one you log in with.
Whatever that's using password.
Yes. Yes. Yes, type your password there. You might use the same password and add something different, let's say 1 or 2 to it. Okay? But use the same password. And then let's say add something extra number to it. Maybe 21. Yes, that's for the password. Okay. The new password, same one, and add 1 or 2 to it. Just to have a scenario of how to reset the password. So whoever is doing admin, if it's not there, he or she is not there, then you can reset the password. But only the super users account can able to reset the password. If you don't have that permission, then you can't reset the password. This is, I think, a number one.
Then click change password.
So if you reset the password successfully, you will have a notification there that your password is changed successfully. Yes, yeah, yeah. So that I can save it, but I don't want to find it. That's not a new password. Yeah. Good, good. So, you will succeed? Yeah? Okay, make sure you remember that one. Because if you forget, by you know how to log into the system. So there's a breadcrumb here. You can come back to home page. Then let's go to point number 5, how you add new users to the system. Let's say your supervisor requests to add somebody just come to forestry to join journal. So this is how you going to add it. So go to user. On the directory, go to category user. Also, this one here, which one here? I think this should. One, password. So one button. Then go to user. Okay. Then go down to user.
Ole.
Yeah, category called user. People, sorry. And then click on the user. Now, you will have list of all users on the system. Now, I want you to create new user. You have user already?
Same password.
Yes, just add a user. Let's say Peter, John, any name you think of. The example there I use John Doe. John Doe as the name but you can use any name. Yes.
Different name.
Yes. Just pick a name to demonstrate how you created yours. So when you want to create yourself to access journal, that's how you do it. So add user, add user. So when you add user, make sure you provide the username for the user. Any name. But when you have someone new coming to your apartment, you actually get the real name of the person. And for this training, you pick any name. Yeah. So let's say COVID-19. One of the person in the department, his name is COVID-19. Yeah, it's COVID-19. And password, pick a password 1, 2, 3, 4. No, any password, you pick one, yeah? That's everything. Yes. Yeah. Just pick a password. Yeah, good. And then, yeah, repeat the same password, confirm the password again.
Contact rows, clicking number.
For the contact rows, give that option for them. Yes. Leave it for now and then hit save. Yeah, save first time.
Everyone play.
So when you successfully create the user, you will have this message that you have added successfully. Yeah? You remember it? Okay. And now we're gonna fill out the personal information about the user. So give a name for the person username you created. So for me, I'll go with the John.
Just sorry. If you use the web browser, can you change the sharing window? Now currently the PDF is shared by Zoom, but it seems you are using the browser, so
Sorry.
yeah, just click the screen share and then change the window.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's okay.
Okay, here's the personal info for the person. Everyone finish with that? Give it first names. Give it in a name number, just in the name, just for training purposes.
So,
That's what time you create the user, you get an email for the user. Okay? Because you need to have this contact. So in this case, I'll say first name John, last name I'll say Darren. And then I'll give this email, which is example. So, and then scroll down. So now you have to, after you fill the info about the user, you have to give permission for the particular user. Now, there are three levels of permission here. One is active, two staff status, and last one is super user. Now, active, if you give it an account with active, the person will not access the active funding. Remember that. So if you have a colleague that you to do the administration, then you have to check the other box, staff status and super user.
Actively uncheck it.
Yes. Now, if you uncheck this active, then that person is disabled. That account is disabled. He or she will not log into the system. But what I mean here is when you set up permission for the account, if you check this staff status and super user, that person will access the admin panel you are accessing right now. So it means you give more privilege to that person. Yeah? And he or she will can delete user, can add user. But if you just leave it active, that person will not do the administration. Yeah? So if you create user just to look at the data on the journal, you can just use active. As long as you check these two particularly, staff status and super user, that person can also log into active. So there's a risk here. That's why you allow this permission for your colleague, admin colleague, only. Any account will not do any administration charges really. Okay? Just enough on just use active and then it's okay. Sir? Okay. So this person I say this person will have admin space, so I say start status and check it. It really depends on how the user will do the roles on the server. That's all. to environment. And then, if this person is from let's say, mapping category, then you allocate the group. Yeah. So then, at the moment, we have some groups there, particular for executive mapping operation, where this deforestation training information. So if this person you want to access anything to relate mapping, then just select mapping and choose. Yeah, double click on this. So all the maps related or any document related to map that category, that person will only access first. Yes. If you say, oh, this person has to access all the groups on the system, and then you say choose all. So that person will access all the information on that. See? Okay, so next time, let's assume that this person need to access identification. So, yeah, choose start, then all, choose all, yes. And then scroll down. Scroll down. You can hear the organization name, like MOFA. Some of the things you can skip it, like it's good if you name the organization. MOFA, yes. Yeah, to choose all. Yeah, it's a MOFA. So, extended profile is just the corona to position name of that person. So since this person is from Mopar, we just say Mopar. And it's part of the project, so I'll say project paper. There's a lot of people for you to fill there, but I just show you the relevant ones. And this person is from set. And the last part, that's your we need to give the roles. And roles relate to publishing. So most of the default you can skip it, but relevant information you need to fill it out. Yes, yes. Let's put on the good, excellent. So let's assume this user need to access all the data of Germany. So I'll leave it before. If we set the resources for the user here, specify resources. That user will access that user only, and those resources only. So bear in mind that if you want to restrict person to certain items or journals, just add it there. Yeah. So if you say, this person need to access portfolio PDF, also need to look at the Western admin boundaries, and then also elevation. And only these files will be supported to this process. So we will look at that.
Jeff? Hello? Can you hear? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I cannot hear you. Maybe the connection, my connection, the PC's connection is. Hello, hello. Now. Now is oh, okay. Hello, hello. No. maybe you can hear on your side, but maybe just Zoom or PC's connection. But yeah, I can watch you. I can watch you. The video is okay. Just only the sound. Hmm. The network trouble or the trouble PC, Jack's PC, please continue. Please continue the training. The training is much important. And then please try with your computer to connect. You can do. You can do. Okay. Okay. So let's please tell the Jack to continue the training. Okay. Okay. なんか多分ちょっとジェフのパソコンのトラブルっぽいので、向こうでは研修の方を続けるように言ってます。まあ、ジェリーがつなげられたら戻ってくるかと思われます。